What is up, my clan? Welcome back to ClintusGames. I apologize for the lack of content. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to do with this channel. I live stream almost every day, 6 to 8 hours a day. I play video games. We talk about video games. I talk about all the things that I want to talk about regarding the video games. So I don't know what videos to make. Again, I'm not big on like making guides, and I just like to talk about video games, which I do live. So I got some ideas for 2020, but that's 2020. Let's talk about 2019, because that's when this DLC comes out, the new season of Dawn in Destiny 2. This is the awesome trailer that they dropped yesterday, and I lost my like, for reals. I lost it when Osiris walks through that portal and we hear his voice. I got so pumped because I called it. I predicted that Osiris would come back after the Season of Undying because of what we did, and it's true. Now, I did not think we'd go back to Mercury. I'm very excited to go back to Mercury because it's one of my favorite planets. I love the Curse of Osiris DLC. I know that's, is arguably, in the community's eyes, one of the worst DLCs, but I also think that a lot of that has to do with the state of Destiny 2 when Curse of Osiris came out. I feel like Destiny 2 was in a really bad place, and it was the first DLC, and it got a really bad rap because of that. And, people would argue that Warmind was a better DLC, but if you compare apples to apples, it was basically the same thing, right? It was basically the same amount of content, same amount of story, same amount of weapons. Like, it was basically the exact same DLC. The reason why people think Warmind's better is because Destiny 2 got better. Quality of life got better, right? Exotic catalysts got dropped. And, there were some quality of life updates that happened with the time of Warmind, right? Wasn't Warmind specifically, it was just Destiny 2 got better. But anyways, I digress. Anyway, I'm super pumped to go back to Mercury. I'm super pumped. This trailer got me so hyped. It got the internet hyped. And then today we got a live stream. We got a reveal live stream, which, Bungie's been doing these for years. They go live on their Twitch channel and they talk about the upcoming content, the upcoming DLC. However, this time around, they went a different path and they didn't really reveal a whole lot. They touched very lightly on a couple of things, right? They talk about the return of Saint 14. They talk about us going back to Mercury. They talk about the new 6-man activity, the Sundial. They briefly talked about the artifact and some of the new mods. And they also talked about a new function in the game. It's not just season dependent, but it's actually going to be in the game after this season. So they did talk about a lot, and I think that's the problem. Is that a lot of people are like, what was the point of a reveal stream if they didn't reveal anything? And like, if you actually look at all the things they talked about, they actually did reveal quite a bit. They just didn't reveal or talk about the specific things that most of the people wanted to hear about, right? Most specifically, Trials of Osiris. Everyone assumed Trials was coming back because we haven't got any PvP updates in quite a while. But if you kind of follow the breadcrumbs and look at some of the details, it actually makes more sense that it wasn't coming this season. It's actually going to come next season, which I also kind of somewhat predict. I said it could go either way. I could see it coming back this season, but I could also see it coming back next season. Next season makes more sense because that's the 5-year anniversary for when Trials of Osiris first launched. It also kind of goes along with this whole, like, what happened last season with the Undying Mind is why Osiris is back this season. Now that Osiris is back and we're bringing back Saint 14, it makes a lot of sense for Trials to make its return, right, next season. But the question is it Trials of Osiris or is it Trials of Saint 14? Bum, bum, bum. We'll have to wait and see. But man, I called it. I had a really sneaky suspicion that Osiris could return, and he's back. I'm excited. We're going back to Mercury. We're gonna bring back Saint 14. We're gonna bring him back somehow, some way. We're gonna go back into time, and the famous helmet, the shotgun, the ribbons. This image is pretty dope. That's on people's desktops right now. I tell you, I guarantee it. But yeah, they didn't brush on a lot of things in this live stream, which really triggered a lot of people. The internet kind of exploded after this live stream, severely disappointed. And I always laugh because, even in my live stream or in the podcast that I'm on with some friends, one of the common things is like, oh, typical Bungie, right? Like good old Bungie. Like, what do you expect? It's Bungie. And it's like, I always question people that say that. It's like, then why are you disappointed? If that's typical Bungie or that's expected, then why are you disappointed? One of the things I said on Twitter today was lower your expectations and you won't be disappointed. Plain and simple. Like if everyone has their expectations way too high, they expect too much, right? Like they expect the world every time Bungie makes an update, right? People assumed there was going to be a raid this season. People assumed Trials of Osiris is coming back. Like, they want 5 new strikes and 10 new PvP maps and 100 new weapons and 10 pieces of armor per character per slot. Like, it's unrealistic, especially now more than ever. Luke Smith talked about in the state of the game that the cadence of content they were pushing out last year is not manageable. It's not reasonable at their size. They no longer are with Activision. They no longer have High Moon Studios and Vicarious Visions. Like they are an independent studio doing this all on their own. And the DLC, guys, the season pass is only $10. That is $1 per week. You know what I'm saying? Like, think of it that way. It's only $1 a week. And if there's only one thing that drops per week, like that seems pretty worth it to me. That's $1 per activity. I mean, $1 per boss. I don't know how you want to break it down, but here's the season. I'm going to pause this real quick. This is the season, right? The things with the Destiny icons are free to all players. The icons with the bird are the ones you pay for with the season pass, right? It breaks it down right here. Season of Dawn, pass. These are the things you get. These are the things you get for free. So again, you don't have to buy anything. But the way I always look at it is I love this game. I love playing this game. As long as Bungie continues to give me reasons to play the game, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it. Little or a lot, free or paid. I'm all in on this game. And I feel like most people are too. Most people love Destiny, yet they bag on Bungie. They bag on the developers. They bag on the community team because they don't get what they want. They don't get the answers they want. They don't hear, what they want. It's disheartening. It bums me out big time. Also, I don't know if no one really talked about this or noticed this, but if you look at this image here on Iron Banner, they're bringing back the year one Destiny 2 Iron Banner, the original Iron Banner gear. So it's more like that samurai look, which is cool. Not my favorite set, but cool. They're bringing those back, right? So Armor 2.0 versions of those. That's cool. A lot of stuff in here though, right? This is 10 weeks of content. Which is interesting here too is the Dawning, which is a seasonal event, is almost a month long. This goes from the middle of December to the middle of January. It's a long time for that. So there's a lot of speculation that SRL is coming back because they are showing the sparrows here. And there's a big gap here in content. On the 7th, we have the Legend Sundial and the exotic quest for this looks like a sidearm. And then the next thing doesn't drop until the 28th. Which is another exotic quest. So there's a big gap there where the Dawning's going on and these things go on. So there's a lot of speculation that there's probably another Iron Banner in there, and there's other secrets that are probably dropped that aren't on this calendar, right? Like the Dawning. If SRL is coming back, do you think they would have announced it? Do you think they would have showed it on the calendar? Do you think they would have stuck it on here? Who knows? This is all that we got today. And, like I said, for most people, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Then they go into the characters and they show off this hunter and some of the new armor and new weapons. You can see here, we've got looks like a pulse and a scout and does that look like a rocket launcher maybe? I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, they go into the artifact. They show us the new artifact, Lantern of Osiris. They showed some of the new mods. You can see that scout rifles, pulse rifles, bows, snipers, linear fusions, and ARs are the flavor of the season. Also, solar is shown here on this grenade. So solar is the focal point of the elementals or the elements, which I also, when we talked about solar was left out this season for Season of Undying, right? The emphasis was on Void and Arc. And so we knew solar was going to be the focal point this coming season, which I also predicted that Cabal were going to be the main enemy that we fight, the protagonists. So I was 2 for 2. I said Osiris is going to come back. I said Cabal was going to be the main focal point. And so I'm going to go out now and say I think Fallen is going to be next season. Arc will be the element of choice. Arc will be the focus point. And for I don't know why, but when I think of Arc, I think of Fallen, right? I feel like the dregs and the the shanks, a lot of those guys, it's all arc damage. So I don't know, for some reason, when I think of Arc, I think of Fallen. When I think of Solar, I think of Cabal. When I think of Void, I think of Vex. The Taken, they're a mix. The Hive, they're a mix. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Anyway, so they kind of brushed briefly on some of the mods. They addressed some of the mods. They also went into this character and they showed you some of the new stuff coming. The Charged with Light, which is a new mechanic that's going to be in the game and moving forward. So not just a seasonal thing, but moving forward, there's this new kind of mechanic when you get a charge of light, and then while you're charged with light, there's some new things in here. So they're really going deep with the mod system, right? The first season was just the tip of the iceberg. They're doing a lot more changes with the mods, but again, they didn't really talk about changes to the mods and what changes they made, which also kind of, like I said, triggered people. Then they go in here and they show you that we're now getting a randomizer for your finishers. You can have up to, I think he said, 8 different finishers, and it'll rotate through them, which is really cool. Little quality of life. And then we load into Mercury, and they show off that you can load up a Sparrow in the public space, which is awesome. That's probably one of the biggest requests that we've had for Mercury, is you could actually get on a Sparrow and ride around. As I said before, I'm really excited to go back to Mercury. It's one of my favorite planets. We get to fight the Vex, even though the Cabal are the main focal point. The Vex obviously inhabit Mercury, so we'll still be fighting some Vex here and there. You saw that in the trailer as well. So looking forward to that. And then we'll fast forward a little bit more here, and they load up the new 6-player activity called Sundial. And this is very similar to the Menagerie. There's a bar there you can see that has to be filled up. There's a timer, and it's a match-made activity. So you can jump in there solo and get match made and play through that new activity. As you see in the gameplay, we've got lots of new weapons they're showcasing. In the website, they show that in the season pass we get a scout rifle and a rocket launcher as the seasonal weapons this year, or for this season. And then we see here they're using Curse of Osiris pulse rifle with the new champion mods. So this is a 2.0 version of this pulse rifle, which gets me very excited because the Osiris weapons were arguably some of the best looking weapons in Destiny 2. They're the most unique. You get that Vex milk kind of running on the sides of it, and it looks like a Vex like portal through the reticles. So really excited about that. But then also, if you look too, that sidearm that this guy is using has the Saint 14 logo on it. So we're going to be getting some Saint 14 weapons, not just Perfect Paradox. We see a sidearm, we see a fusion rifle, and I think we saw an auto rifle at some point as well. So there's definitely the Saint 14 weapons, there's the 2 seasonal weapons, and then we have the Curse of Osiris weapons making a return. So all in all, it looks like we're going to get a lot of new weapons to chase. Very excited about that. We see 2 sets of armor. We see the one that everyone's rocking right now, which is kind of like the silver and purple, right? Kind of Saint 14-esque looking armor. And then again, on the website, they show another set of armor. So one's going to be the one that we earned probably from this event, and then another set we earned from the from the season pass. So those are the 2 new ones we'll get there. And again, some of this is free, some of this is paid content. $10 get you the season pass. And just briefly want to touch on that. I feel like this model is the best model that we can get. A lot of people like to argue that Eververse needs to be removed from the game, or the stuff that's in Eververse needs to be backed off, and put into the game. And I always argue that content was made for Eververse. It wasn't like they made these sparrows and the finishers and the ornaments and said, oh man, these are too good to be free. Let's put it into Eververse. Let's put it behind a paywall. No, there's a team dedicated to creating that stuff for Eververse. Like, their sole purpose is to create those items to then be sold as microtransactions. And there's no more loot boxes too. Like, remember, like, there's no, let me put $10 in the slot machine and pull the slot machine. This is, I want that ornament. Here's $10. Thank you for the ornament. I want that finisher. I want that emote. Here's $5. Give me that emote, right? It's the best model for microtransactions. And again, you don't have to buy anything, right? No one's telling you that you have to buy these cosmetic things. But again, I know the argument is, well, it's a looter shooter, put it in the game. Well, there's enough things in the game, right? There's guns that are made, there's exotics that are made, there's armor pieces that are made. There's other things that are made. Those things were made for Eververse. So anyways, I just kind of want to throw that in there. Like, at the end of the day, you buy a video game, you play the video game. If you want to play more content, you have to pay more. It's just business. It's plain and simple. It's, they have to continue paying salaries. If it was a one-time buy, then, like, how are you paying salaries to make the new content? You got to, I don't know. It's always a sticky argument. People like to argue that, there should be more free content. There should be more stuff for your money. And it's like, it's a business. They got to keep the lights on, right? You want them to maintain this game as we play it. You want them to create new stuff for you. Then you gotta pay somehow, some way. And I think the current model is the best model, in my opinion. So we'll see where they go from this as they continue to reiterate on it. But anyway, overall, I'm really pumped for the new season. I'm obviously going to play the crap out of it. I love Destiny. It's my main game. It's what I play the most. It's what I do the most. I'll be grinding that season pass really hard when it first drops. Because I really do love season passes and battle passes. Call of Duty Modern Warfare just dropped their first, season pass, and I love it. I'm super pumped about it. I played for like 8 hours yesterday on stream. I did buy the extra 20, first 20 levels, so I got a head start, and I think I ended the day at like 25 or 28 or something like that. So I'm very much looking forward to grinding out the season pass in Destiny. I'll be grinding it really hard, getting to level 100 and getting all those rewards unlocked. And then depending on what the title looks like, what the title's called, then I may or may not be grinding the title this season. There's a lot of other games that I would like to catch up on. Borderlands 3, Call of Duty. I mean, even Division has some DLC that I haven't played. So I'm okay if the content's a little on the light side. I love this game. I do. But let's be honest, there's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot of triumphs. There's a lot of quests. There's a lot of catalysts and exotics that even me, who plays this game, for the most part, full time, I still haven't got all the things. There's a lot in this game that I still haven't done. So I'm okay if it's a little on the light side on a seasonal basis to catch up on the other things. I'm not going to complain. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I was a little long. I'll be honest, this is the third time I've recorded this. The first two times were 20 minutes, over 20 minutes. So we're coming in just under 18. So I'm going to end it here. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on the season, on the reveal. What are your predictions that we're going to, things that are going to happen and come this season? I'd love to talk about it. And we can talk about it live if you like. Twitch.tv/Clintus. I stream just about every day, starting around 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Arizona time. And you can drop in, say what's up, talk Destiny, talk shop, all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you on the flip side.